Hello, this is a series about Worm. In this series I will be talking about Worm. If you don't know what Worm is a 1.68 million word web serial novel written by John C. McCrae under the alias of Wildbow. It is a superhero deconstruction and follows the life of Taylor Hebert, a girl who has bug control powers. And that is what is Worm. Now, why should you read Worm? Well, it is incredible. If you noticed before, I did say 1.68 million words. And he wrote this in 2.5 years. Specifically, I think it was June 2011 to November 2013. And so that's a very short period of time to write that many words. And so that is, at least if you're curious how good a story can be written at that pace, which is literally about the pace of a NaNoWriMo non-stop for 2.5 years, and then some. You should check out the book. It's also a rather dark story. It is dark. It's a superhero deconstruction and looks at a lot of the intricacies between what you would consider a superhero and what you consider a supervillain and what's the difference. It is really nice, the dynamic, and how heroes and villains do have to work together for bigger threats. Because I absolutely love the story, I'm not going to spoil anything and I won't even explain what this bigger threat is. But given it's a superhero story, you can probably assume this one. Also, this is one of my favorite stories in the entire world. I mean that sincerely. He's working on getting it published, editing it, and getting it all done. Now, my own personal vouching for it is this. As soon as it's released, as soon as I have a chance of buying that series, I will spend however much money. Be it $100, be it $200, be it $500, even if I have to pay another $100 for shipping from Canada to Australia, I will pay all that money just to get it. And then I'll read the entire thing again for about the 5th time, because it is absolutely amazing. It is an incredibly deep story. It is amazing, and the way the characters are written are amazing. For a superhero story, you would presume there's a lot of actual superpowers, except there's never the usual superpowers. You rarely hear flying brick. You have men who turn into dragons when angry enough. You have songbirds made of glass. You have communicators that have a way with knives. You have all these interesting, nuanced characters that I've just bastardized and made so vague you won't actually notice them, so it won't actually spoil it too much. Another important part of it is the fandom, because having a good or bad fandom can honestly make or break a story when it's finished. I'm really proud to say that the fandom is quite intelligent. Most people who actually were in the fandom had read the entire 1.68 million words, which is really nice. Because of this, there's a lot of interesting discussion. There's a lot of good, well thought out fan fiction. There's a lot of good arguing and debating, and although some topics are obviously degenerate and we have our share of very bad fan fiction, I would like to say that there is actually a lot more good than you would expect. Although we do not have enough fan art, we do not have even close to enough fan art. If you're an artist, you should read this book and get on it, because we don't have enough of that, or cosplayers for that matter. And if you don't want to do it like this, there's actually a few other ways to read it. One of which would be DocMod reads Worm, where he goes through chapter by chapter and reads the entire thing and see how he reacts to it, how other people react to it, and how that all happens. But otherwise, you could just pick it up, see how you like it, and yeah. However, it is not the best in the beginning. Yeah, no. And as it goes on, due to the scope of it and the fact that he literally was just writing 8,000 words every 2 days, just publishing at a surprisingly high quality, there are a few plot holes and inconsistency in the giant world, but that is not something you're going to pick up on your first read through at the very least, and definitely not if you don't get involved in the fandom. So yeah, this is just the first episode. Next week I'll start talking about something else, which will probably be fanon, and why sometimes it's bad and why sometimes it's good. See you then.